I started this YouTube channel about 4.5 years ago, and it's been one of the hardest things I've ever done. I've made a lot of mistakes. I've made some terrible videos, and I almost quit a couple times. But I've gotten a lot of support and encouragement from my wife, who helps me on my live streams, my kids, who sometimes help out with filming B-roll, Harper, who helps run the cameras on the live stream, and Casey, who mods my live streams and runs my Discord, and of course, you, my subscribers who have watched and commented on my videos. I never could have done this without you. You have no idea how much this means to me. Thank you. Another thing about having this channel is how much I've learned, not just about filming and storytelling, but about myself. I've never been afraid of working hard, and I've always thought of myself as a really good multitasker. So I just dove in, and in addition to my regular mixing and production work, I started filming and editing, which takes forever, doing thumbnails, and keeping up with, or trying to keep up with, social media. Basically, I get excited about a project and I try to do too much by myself and end up working too hard. And that's never actually been a problem in the past because those were limited projects. But this is something completely different. And I found that no matter how hard I worked, my channel wasn't growing. I wasn't getting any more subscribers. I wasn't making the kind of videos I wanted to make. So I made the hard decision to drop out of some projects and turn down some paid mixing and production work, so I could focus on one thing, which is something I've never been very good at. But it worked, and my views and subscribers started going up. It was incredible. It was all very exciting, and I started thinking, what else should I be doing to build out this whole Freaking Out with Billy Hume channel and brand? So I was like, oh, I should start these Patreon-exclusive deep dive videos where I show my mixing and production techniques. And then during one of my random live streams, somebody suggested that I do a contest with samples I made, which was a huge success, and it led me to start doing more live streams, which I do on Twitch and YouTube at the same time. And I started putting some of my original music in my videos, which people like, so I decided, oh, I should start working on my album as well. I also started working on some production and mixing courses because people were asking for them. And then I did an actual rare recording session for a client, and I decided that I would live stream it and call it Fly on the Wall Live Stream, and that ended up going really well, and we were recognized by Autopilot,
Billy Hume,
who is a huge Twitch streamer, and that was a big deal for me because he's been kind of a role model. So I decided that I would start doing more of these Fly on the Wall live streams, which leads me to start expanding my home studio, build out a bigger drum room, and do more wiring in the studio and the patch bass and so on. And then I was hit up by the infamous String Dusters about mixing 20 songs for the 20th year anniversary, which I couldn't turn down because they've been such a huge part of my life and my career. But it was a big project. And then Danny Boone from the band Rehab hit me up and said he wanted me to produce and record an album with them, and how could I possibly say no? And then I decided, oh, let's live stream the whole album as a Fly on the Wall live stream, which I think we did something like 16 live streams. A couple of them were for over 14 hours long, and most of them were about 8 hours long. And it was during this time that this happened. Oh! We just hit 100,000! Woo! Which of course was great, but we had no time to celebrate because my life had become start a new video, work on the studio, do a Patreon deep dive, edit video, make thumbnails, write a song, mix a song, film, fix things, move gear, Wednesday live stream, do an interview, Fly on the Wall live stream, mix a song, make thumbnails, film, edit, Patreon deep dive, work on my songs, work on the studio, work on a video, Wednesday live stream, mix a song, fix things, film, edit video, thumbnails, Fly on the Wall. And soon after, I kind of hit a brick wall, and it wasn't just that I couldn't do anymore, but it was that I was doing a lot of stuff, but not actually finishing anything. I haven't made any shorts. I'm never on my Discord channel. I've not gotten any more work done on my courses. My music distribution, dealing with TuneCore for my own music, I actually made a video about that. I've not been able to deal with that in months. My website's not done. People have been asking about merch. That's not done. The studio needs more repair and improvements. I'd like to have a life, and my yard. Oh my God, you should see my yard. But mostly, the subscriber count on YouTube has hardly been moving. My views are down, and I barely just made it across 100,000 subscribers, and that's because I've not been making the long-form videos that I set out to do and has been bringing me most of my subscribers. Once again, my enthusiasm outpaced my abilities, and I was just trying to do too many things. So I'm going to have to scale back a few things, which means I'm not going to be live streaming as much, which really sucks because I love doing that, and I'm going to have to focus. I've also come to the realization that I'm going to need to bring on some help, which is going to be really hard because I don't have any money to pay anyone, but I have been interviewing some people, and I just received my first video edit from Harry Stark, who recently came on board as a live stream moderator. And if I can grow this channel and he can deal with my obsessive video tweaks, then that may turn into a paying gig, which means that I'm going to have to learn how to manage people and not totally freak out on them. But the biggest thing, there's actually two things that I need to change to move forward. And the first is I need to go outside. I don't know about you, but if I don't go outside pretty regularly and walk barefoot on the ground, then I start to feel pretty bad. But the most important thing is this. I've spent the last 30 years of my life being a producer and mixer, and I worked all the time, and I did pretty well. And the way that worked was, after a while, people found out about me, so they'd call me up or send me emails, and I'd get work. I didn't really have to schedule things so much as just take the work in, and it was lined up, and I did it. I had full-time engineers that worked for me, and scheduling them and managing them was no problem. It was like, here's the work. I need you to prep this mix. I need you to do a clean mix here, edit this, do a vocal session or something like that. That was easy. Even though I worked all the time, I was essentially being reactive, and I never really thought about it that way. What I'm doing now is a completely different thing. There's nobody calling me up and saying, hey, I need you to make this kind of video here. I need you to do this today. I have to do it. I have to decide all that myself, and it's taken me a long time for that to really sink in, that it's all on me to do this. And that's fine, but it's not what I've done for 30 years, and I'm not really good at planning and scheduling. So I'm gonna have to figure that out, and which means an essential change in how I live my life and who I am as a person. But that's fine. It's not gonna affect my creativity. But I think I can do it. I can't promise that I'm going to be a very consistent YouTuber. I'm not going to be putting out videos every week, probably, just because, well, I'm really detailed. I come from a long line of carpenters and craftsmen, and we are obsessive about the quality of our work and whether it's something that we feel in our soul. And I'm not going to be a typical YouTuber. I'm not just going to be going out and making videos on the latest thing that, whatever people want to talk about and all that. I know that I gotta deal with the algorithm, but I also have to please my spirit and my soul. So that's gonna be the challenge, if I can put all that together, if that makes any kind of sense. So I hope that you'll come along for this journey and see how this all goes, because I might pull it off and I might not. And a year from now, I might be making another video like this and going like, okay, now I got to make this adjustment. But that's fine. That's how it goes. I'm cool with taking the challenge and falling down, because I fall down a lot. Basically, I think I've just been stumbling forward my whole life. But sometimes there's a victory that makes it all worth it. Thanks so much for watching the video and listening to me rant about all this stuff. I think now I need to go and edit some video. See you later.